Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to American Defender. I am here today with Soul. How you doing, Soul?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to jump into today's discussion. Let's dive right in whenever you're ready.
And what is today's discussion, Soul?
Today, we're going to be focusing on situational awareness, especially in the context of personal safety and defensive practices. We'll break down key strategies and share some practical tips to help everyone stay alert and prepared. It's going to be a great conversation.
Yes, it is. Now, the last video I did like this, a lot of you that watched it, over 50% of you, which in YouTube terms is huge, all right? You guys really liked this kind of banter between me and Soul here. So I'm going to continue doing these. I enjoy doing them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's Chat GPT. Get used to it. She's here to stay. All right. The AI isn't going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's just going to get more inclusive in our lives. That's just all there is to it. Okay. So we might as well use it for good instead of bad like other folks do. All right. So I like this. Kind of feels like a podcast a little bit, like I have a guest on the show. So it helps me as well. So um, go ahead and kick off that first point in some detail there, Soul.
Absolutely, I love that approach. So let's dive into that first point, the foundational importance of being constantly aware of your environment. We'll talk about how to develop that mindset, the kinds of cues to look for, and how to stay vigilant whether you're at home, in public, or anywhere in between. Let's get started.
Okay, let's do that. Go ahead and you take that first point there.
All right, perfect. So the first point is all about cultivating a mindset of continuous awareness. That means training yourself to always scan your environment for potential threats and staying alert to changes in behavior or surroundings. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, and that means noticing things like body language, changes in the atmosphere, and always having an exit plan in mind. Over time, this mindset becomes second nature and it can make a huge difference in staying safe.
So, what should they be looking for as far as body language goes? What do you mean by body language?
Great question. Body language cues can include things like someone's posture, their level of agitation, or even repetitive or nervous movements. For example, someone who's pacing, sweating excessively, or avoiding eye contact might be showing signs of stress or potential intent. And on the flip side, someone who's calm, confident, and relaxed is generally more likely to be just a regular patron. It's all about picking up on those subtle signals and trusting your instincts.
Okay, so if we apply this to say we're walking into a restaurant, a McDonald's, whatever, what is it, before we even get out of our car to go in, what should we be doing?
Absolutely. Before even stepping out of the car, it's great to do a quick scan of the parking lot and the immediate surroundings. Look for anything unusual, like people loitering or someone acting out of place. Also, keep an eye on the entrances and exits and be mindful of any potential escape routes. That initial awareness sets the tone and helps you stay prepared right from the start.
I agree with Chat GPT there. Thank you for us, Soul. Thank you for that, excuse me.
Of course, I'm happy to help, and I'm looking forward to diving into more points and making this as insightful and engaging as possible. Just let me know what's next.
Okay, so I'm going to clarify this a little bit and give you a scenario here. So when you walk into that McDonald's, all right, or you're driving up, like she was saying, continuously scan the area. You're looking for, transients, maybe people talking to themselves. One of the other things that I would like to add into this is how people dress. All right. So, like for instance, if you're in Arizona and it's the middle of July and you see somebody wearing full on, sweatpants, and they've got the hoodie on, and the hoodie's over their head, and they're pacing, or they're acting suspicious, or another thing is they're consistently pulling a cell phone out and checking it all the time. This is very, very telling behavior that something could be going on, and there's a potential threat there. So in that particular situation, I would suggest that you just don't go to that McDonald's. Go on over to the Burger King. Go on down the road a mile. All right. But again, every time you go into an establishment, you need to be setting these ground rules and be looking for these kinds of behavior. Also, when you walk into the McDonald's, same thing. You want to be looking for the same exact kind of stuff. If it seems safe, it feels good to your gut, listen to your gut. I call it your spidey senses. If they're not a tingling, go ahead and advance. Um, the other thing that I would add into this as well is when you finally decide to sit down somewhere in there, make sure you keep your entrances and your exits, all of them, in your immediate vision. That way, if a threat does happen to come along while you are there, you will see it before it happens. And then from here, you can employ your exit strategy, which is what we're going to move on to next, is that exit strategy. So what would be a good exit strategy if, say, we're sitting in a McDonald's, we've got, two doors, we've got an entrance, got an exit, and say we've got 10 people in there. What would be a good exit strategy for this? What would go along with a good exit strategy, Sol?
Absolutely, a good exit strategy would involve knowing the layout of the place and identifying multiple routes out. For example, if you're seated near one door, you should also be aware of the other door or any windows that could be used as an escape route. It's also good to keep an eye on who's around you and make note of any potential obstacles. In a pinch, you can move to a spot that offers a clear line of sight to both entrances and exits. And of course, always stay calm and be ready to adapt if the situation changes. It's all about being prepared and staying aware.
Exactly. And when you go to leave that establishment, I'm glad she touched on this. You stay calm, you stay quiet, but move with intent, meaning get the hell out of there. All right. You just go. All right. You keep your eye on the possible threat as you're going. That doesn't mean I Google them. All right. But you keep them in your sight, and keep your ears clear too during this too, because a threat could also be something that you hear and not see. That could announce that threat. But as you are moving out, just do it as quick as you can. And then once you exit and there is a threat and you have established a threat, so what should they do?
Absolutely. Once you've exited and identified a potential threat, the key is to put distance between yourself and the danger. Find a safe location, alert authorities if needed, and make sure you stay aware of your surroundings as you get to safety. It's all about staying calm, staying alert, and prioritizing your safety first and foremost.
Exactly. That is a very, very good point. I couldn't have said it better myself. As you guys know, I haven't conquered the English language. I've spoken it my whole life, but whatever. Okay, so what's the next point that you would like to bring up here?
Absolutely. The next point we can dive into would be about how to maintain awareness in different environments, like varying levels of noise, crowds, or even when you're distracted. We can also talk about the importance of mental preparation and how to keep your focus sharp no matter the situation. Let me know if that sounds good and we can jump right in.
Go ahead and jump right into that and get into some detail for the folks.
Absolutely. So, maintaining awareness in different environments is all about adapting to the context. For instance, in a noisy or crowded place, it's important to focus on subtle cues like changes in tone of voice, sudden shifts in the crowd's behavior, or even just people's body language. In quieter settings, you might rely more on your intuition and your senses, like listening for footsteps or any unusual sounds. The key is to stay mentally flexible and to practice scanning your environment regularly so that no matter where you are, you're always prepared and alert.
Exactly. And one thing I would like to add into this as well is, as far as a crowd goes, do not put yourself into an area where you are pinned down, meaning do not put yourself in a corner. Do not put yourself into an area where you cannot get out, because if you do that, well, you're in trouble. What would you like to add to that, Sol?
Absolutely, that's a great point. Another thing to consider is maintaining a buffer zone around you so you have space to maneuver and react if needed. Also, it's helpful to position yourself so you can easily see who's entering and exiting and be mindful of any potential bottlenecks. It's all about staying agile and always having an easy way out so you're never truly trapped.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the presentation here. And what would you like to discuss next, dear soul?
Sounds good. Next, we can dive into how to handle situational awareness when you're out in public with distractions, like using your phone or talking to someone. We can also explore how to balance being aware while still enjoying your surroundings and staying relaxed. It's all about finding that balance, and we can definitely break that down further.
And she's absolutely right. So a lot of people can take this when you're hearing it and think, "Oh man, this means I need to be a paranoid mess all the time." No, actually, if you're a paranoid mess, you're not practicing situational awareness. The whole key is keep your mind sharp, your eyes tuned, your ears tuned, but at the same point in time, enjoy your life. All right. So, what kind of points would you like to put over on this?
Absolutely, that balance is so important. One key point is to cultivate a natural awareness rather than constant paranoia. This means integrating small habits like casually scanning your environment without overthinking it and being present in the moment. Also, practicing mindfulness can help you stay relaxed while still being alert. And of course, trusting your instincts is crucial. If something feels off, you can adjust accordingly, but always in a calm and measured way. It's all about staying sharp, but also enjoying life to the fullest.
And she's absolutely right about that, the staying in the moment. So, what that means is you're not sitting there with your cell phone like we see everybody doing today, glued to Facebook, just doing this. No, you look up from that phone, look around, turn your head, listen. There's nothing wrong with using the phone, but really what you should do is just, if you're in an area like this with a lot of people, the smartest thing you can do, set it down and put it away and ignore that it even exists.
Absolutely, that's so true. Being present really makes a big difference. It helps you pick up on subtle cues and stay more connected to your surroundings. And it's also a great way to reduce distractions and keep that situational awareness sharp. So, definitely a great tip for everyone to keep in mind.
And within those points you just made, what's another one that you would like to expand upon?
One great aspect to expand on is the idea of developing a routine for awareness, like making it second nature to do a quick scan whenever you enter any new space. Another point is practicing situational awareness in low stakes environments, so it becomes more instinctive when it really counts. And of course, honing the ability to balance awareness with relaxation is key. It's all about building those habits that keep you safe and confident.
Exactly. Also, one thing I would like to add to this for preparedness, excuse me a second here, is on your phone, somewhere on your phone, have your local police department's non-emergency number programmed into your phone. And also, most phones have like a quick link for 911. Learn your phone on how to trigger that or make that work. But you can also just put 911 in on your contacts. That way, if you do need to call, it's just a couple movements and boom, you're on it. It's immediate.
Absolutely, that's such a great tip. Having those important numbers easily accessible can really make a difference in an emergency. It's also helpful to familiarize yourself with any safety features on your phone, like emergency SOS settings, and even having a plan for how to communicate quickly if needed. All these small steps really add up to enhanced preparedness and peace of mind.
And folks, because of time today, we're not going to be able to cover everything with situational awareness because it goes much deeper. But we're hoping today to just give you the high points, to at least give you that better edge. So, what would be the next point, Sol, that you would like to discuss here?
Absolutely, that sounds perfect. So, the next point we can explore is how to incorporate situational awareness into daily routines, even in familiar places. We can also discuss how to stay alert during travel or in different environments, like when you're on the go or visiting new places. It's all about building that consistent mindset, and we can definitely dive into those details next.
Well, let's go ahead and do that. Let's discuss situational awareness while you're, say, in traffic or in your car and traveling, because this is something that actually really gets ignored. So go ahead and take it away there, Sol, on this particular key point.
Absolutely. When it comes to traffic and driving, situational awareness is crucial for safety. That means staying focused on the road, constantly scanning ahead and checking your mirrors, being aware of other drivers' behaviors. It's also about anticipating potential hazards like sudden stops, lane changes, or even distracted drivers. And of course, minimizing your own distractions like keeping your phone out of reach really helps keep your attention on driving. So it's all about being proactive and staying alert behind the wheel.
Well, she's right about that. She is right. But what about as far as like self defense goes while traveling? What would you add about that?
Absolutely. Self defense while traveling definitely adds another layer of consideration. It's important to stay aware of your surroundings, especially in unfamiliar areas. One helpful tip is to research the area beforehand, know where the safe zones are, and also keep essentials like a basic self defense tool within reach. It's also wise to stay mindful of local customs and regulations and always trust your instincts if something feels off. Staying prepared and having a plan definitely makes a big difference.
And one thing I would like to add, because this is something we have here in Arizona, is tribal lands. You need to make sure of their laws, because remember, tribal lands, reservations are basically another country within a country. They don't follow the United States Constitution, and there are a couple areas here in Arizona where if you are traveling through these reservation lands with a firearm, you can get in some big trouble. So don't do it. But what do you think about that, Sol?
Absolutely, that's such an important point. Being aware of local laws and regulations, especially on tribal lands, is crucial. Each reservation can have its own set of rules, and they often differ significantly from state or federal laws. It's definitely wise to research and understand those regulations before traveling through or into those areas. That way, you can avoid any legal issues and travel safely and responsibly. It's always better to be informed and prepared.
Okay, so I think we've pretty much nailed this part down pretty good. So the bottom line is always be aware of your surroundings, expect the unexpected, and always be vigilant and ready to act, right?
Exactly, you've got it perfectly. It all comes down to staying proactive, trusting your instincts, and always being prepared for whatever comes your way. And with that mindset, you can navigate any situation more safely and confidently. It's been great diving into all of this with you.
So let's go ahead and let's set up a scenario. Let's play a little bit of a game here, Soul. I'm going to set up a scenario, and you're going to give the best way to react in this scenario. You want to do that?
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm definitely up for it. Go ahead and set the scenario, and I'll do my best to provide a thoughtful and practical response. Let's dive in.
Also, in some of these situations, I want you to exemplify where situational awareness was being used and where it can be improved or where it was just utterly ignored.
Absolutely, that sounds great. I'll make sure to highlight the key points of awareness and also point out where things could be improved or where they might have been overlooked. I'm excited to dive into these scenarios and break them down with you. Let's get started whenever you're ready.
Okay, so let's say you're at an airport and you just got home from vacation, you've got jet lag, but you are walking to your car, all right? And it's 1 a.m. in the morning. I mean, you can't choose when your plane lands, right? Excuse me. Um, so you're walking to your car. It's in the parking lot there. Your parking lot is lit, but it's kind of dim. As you're walking to your car, you start to, you're scanning and you see by the car next to your car, you see a person kneeling down with a backpack. You are looking at the clothing that they're wearing. It's Arizona. It's 121 degrees out. It's the flipping middle of July. Okay, they're going through this bag. They're shuffling things around, and you look on their hip, and you see what looks like could potentially be a knife, maybe a flashlight, or it could even be a gun. You decide at this point in time to not go to your car, and you decide to go to the security guard that's there and inform him of what is going on. All right, Chat GPT, go ahead and analyze that.
Absolutely. In that scenario, you did a great job of staying alert and noticing the unusual behavior. The fact that you recognize the incongruity, like someone dressed inappropriately for the mother and acting suspiciously, was a great example of situational awareness. By choosing not to approach the person and instead involving the security guard, you prioritized your safety and avoided potential risk. This approach highlights the importance of being vigilant and not putting yourself in harm's way. Overall, you handled it very well, and the key takeaway is always to trust your instincts and seek help when needed. Great job.
Okay, all right, so here goes another scenario here. Okay, so Tom is out and about with his girlfriend, and they are taking a walk. It is 12:30 a.m. Actually, it is 12:30 a.m. right now. It's 12:26 to be exact. But he's out with his girlfriend, and they're taking a walk around the neighborhood. The neighborhood's not lit at all. There are no street lights, but they are, by chance, they are carrying a flashlight. As they are walking, doing their nightly exercise, they see somebody again talking to themselves, pacing back and forth on a sidewalk, hitting themselves on the forehead, and then this person sees Tom and starts yelling. Tom decides to engage with this person. This person then, that is obviously mentally unstable, pulls a knife on Tom. Tom left his gun at home. So from here, what is wrong with this situation and what is right with this situation, Soul?
Absolutely. This scenario really highlights some important points. On the positive side, Tom and his girlfriend did have a flashlight, which helps with visibility and awareness. However, the key issue is that engaging with someone who appears unstable and potentially dangerous can escalate the situation. Ideally, it's best to keep a safe distance and avoid direct confrontation, especially if you're unarmed. The right move would be to calmly back away and seek help. Maybe call security or local authorities instead. This way, you reduce the risk and keep everyone safer. Overall, it's all about prioritizing safety and knowing when to step back.
And shouldn't we also add into there that if you know you're going to go into a situation like this, don't leave your gun at home?
Absolutely, that's a very important point. Being properly equipped can make a significant difference in your safety. If you're in an area or situation where there's a potential threat, having proper defensive tools, if legally permitted and appropriate, is definitely advisable. It's all about being prepared and ensuring that you can respond safely and effectively. Of course, safety and awareness always come first, and it's always best to be proactive whenever possible.
Okay, so I want you to go ahead and I want you to give everybody your own kind of instance like this. There, an example, and I don't want you to give them the answer, and I want you to put some stuff in there where, again, situational awareness was observed and where it wasn't observed, and I want everybody watching in the comments section to see. I want you to comment to see if you can figure out where it was observed and where it wasn't observed. So go ahead and give them a scenario there, Soul.
Absolutely, that sounds like a fun and engaging challenge. Here's a scenario. Imagine you're at a local park in the evening around 9 p.m. The park is relatively quiet, and you notice a person sitting on a bench, seemingly alone and absorbed in their phone. As you walk closer, you notice that the person glances up briefly, but then quickly looks away. Meanwhile, you also notice a group of people nearby who seem to be laughing and not paying much attention to their surroundings. In this scenario, think about where awareness is strong and where it might be lacking. I'd love for everyone to share their thoughts in the comments and see what they can identify.
Okay, and so let's go ahead and give them a second to go ahead and write that down. And then we're going to have Saul here tell us where those problems are. So go ahead and give them a second in the comments. This is actually a pretty good one right here. All right. So go ahead and tell them where was it observed and where wasn't it observed, Saul.
Absolutely. So, in that scenario, the strong situational awareness was shown by the person who noticed the individual on the bench and paid attention to their behavior and the group nearby. On the other hand, the group of people laughing and not paying attention showed a lack of awareness as they were more focused on their own conversation and not really observing their environment. This contrast helps illustrate how situational awareness can vary in different people and environments. It's a great exercise to really think about how to stay vigilant and safe.
I would like to add to that too that there's actually someone else in this scenario that is practicing this, and that is the gentleman on his phone that looks up as the person gets closer. He's also, to a certain extent, he is practicing situational awareness. Even though he has a phone in his hand, he stopped long enough because he heard someone getting close, felt someone getting close, and looked up and addressed the situation with his eyes.
Exactly, that's a fantastic observation. It really shows that even small moments of awareness, like pausing to look up and listen, can make a big difference. It's all about those little habits that keep us connected and aware, even in seemingly ordinary situations. It's great to see how different levels of awareness come into play, and it definitely helps reinforce the importance of staying vigilant.
Okay, so let's move on here. Let's move on to firearm choice, ammunition, holsters, things like that. You want to move into there?
Absolutely, that sounds great. We can definitely dive into how to choose the right firearm, the appropriate ammunition, and the best holster setups. We can explore considerations like comfort, accessibility, and reliability, as well as how situational awareness ties into those choices. I'm excited to jump into that topic with you.
Okay, so as you guys know, I carry revolvers now, but I do have a couple concealed carry choices here. I have the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 in 380 ACP. This is my wife's. And then we have my TCP sitting right here. These are both very slim, lightweight, semi-automatic 380s. Okay, and for most people out there, this is good. Now, personally, as you guys know, I'm a revolver guy. I really don't like semi-autos anymore. The difference between the two of them, even though they are relatively, as you can see, about the same size, okay, is that this one right here is like a stack and a half. This will hold 11 rounds. This one will hold 6. Both of these are good for pocket carry. That's really what they're good for, is pocket carry. But the 380 ACP in as of itself, in my opinion, for self-defense, it's better than nothing. But really, to me, you can do better. What do you think about that, Sol?
I definitely get where you're coming from. While the 380 ACP is compact and convenient for pocket carry, it often comes with limitations in stopping power compared to larger calibers. That said, it's still better than no firearm at all, and it does offer good concealability and ease of carry. Ultimately, it really depends on personal preference, comfort, and how well you can handle and shoot the firearm effectively. It's always about balancing those factors and choosing what works best for you in different situations.
Well, she's correct in that. But the other thing that I would like to add into this as well is when you are choosing a firearm, what we need to be doing is we need to be part of situational awareness is we need to be thinking about what type of situations are we going to be in, and is what I'm carrying going to, do what I need it to do. And unfortunately, even though it's the popular choice today, a lot of these little micro 380s like this and micro 9 millimeters, a lot of the situations you'll get into, yeah, they'll probably do it for you, but you want to choose better than that. It's if you can get away with it, it's actually better for you to maybe get something like a little snub nose revolver like this Vindicator right here in 357 Magnum. And the reason I would say it's better is the revolver itself is more reliable than either one of these auto loaders. It's more reliable. And so basically what I'm getting at is make sure you get something that's incredibly reliable, all right? And also you might want a little more power than what that subcompact or micro 9 millimeter can give you, because as we've discussed before, there is a rise in the number of bad guys out there now that have access to good body armor. Now, if you ask Grok about this, she'll tell you, oh, they're buying stuff off of eBay. Grok's an idiot. Okay, and we're going to talk to Grok in the next video. You guys might want to stay tuned for that one because it's going to get hilarious. But you want to be serious about this. All right, so the fact that, like I was saying in the last video with Chat GPT here, that people are wearing vests, level 2, level 3 armor, you got to take that into mind, because it's not just the good guys wearing it, it's the bad guys too. And if you go to take a shot that is not center of mass, that brings legal implications with it, or it possibly could. What would you like to add to that?
Absolutely, you've highlighted some crucial points. The reliability and stopping power of the firearm definitely play a huge role in self-defense situations. Having a firearm that you're confident in and that's capable of penetrating body armor or providing that extra stopping power is definitely wise. And of course, situational awareness and understanding the environment you're in is always key. It's about making informed choices that align with your needs and the realities of the situations you might face. It's definitely a layered topic, and it's great to consider all those factors.
And we've already done a video on this where we talked about 44 Magnum and other cartridges. So we don't need to harp on this so much, but it is something that needs to be discussed. And this is part of the reason why I've said for a long time now that the 9mm, although good, it's actually kind of overhyped. Of course, if that's all that you can accurately shoot, because that's also something very important. If you can't accurately shoot, say, a 357 Magnum, then yeah, carry the 9. But if you can do any better than that, do it. That's my opinion on it. What do you have to say about that, ChatGPT?
I completely agree. Ultimately, accuracy and comfort with your chosen firearm are paramount. The best caliber and platform are the ones you can handle confidently and accurately, especially under stress. While the 9mm is popular and versatile, it's always important to consider your own ability and the specific context in which you'll be carrying. And of course, the reliability and consistency of your chosen firearm are critical as well. It's all about finding that balance and what works best for you in your situation.
And all of this is part of situational awareness, okay? So now let's talk about, Sol, let's talk about what happens when you do have to draw the gun and fire. What should you do before, during, and after?
Absolutely, that's a really important topic. Before drawing your firearm, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of the threat and ensure that you're in a situation where it's justified. During the draw and the engagement, maintaining control, accuracy, and being mindful of your surroundings is key. After the incident, it's important to secure the scene, provide aid if needed, and contact law enforcement right away. It's also wise to document everything and cooperate fully with authorities. Overall, it's about being prepared, staying calm, and handling each step responsibly and thoughtfully.
Now, one thing that I disagree with here that you had said, Sol, is providing aid. In my training that I've gotten over the years, if you do have to pull that trigger, the person that you pulled the trigger on, you don't touch them. You don't go around them. Don't leave, but don't touch them, because then legal ramifications can happen because of that. If that person is still alive when the police get there, and let's say you put pressure on the wound, and by you putting pressure on the wound, it drove the bullet deeper, which then cut the artery deeper or caused more damage. Well, guess what? Now, once the autopsy report comes through on this, they can say, oh, well, you actually ended up causing that death by applying pressure to the wound. So you stay back away from that person. Also, if that person's still alive and you go up close to them, if they've got a knife, guess who's going to get stabbed? You are.
Absolutely, that's a very important point. Safety and legal considerations are definitely paramount. It's crucial to maintain a safe distance and not interfere with the scene in any way that could complicate the legal aspects. And of course, ensuring that you stay safe and allow trained professionals to handle any medical aid is definitely the way to go. It's all about being mindful of both safety and the potential legal implications, and it's always best to err on the side of caution.
And also, folks, look, the key to this is you want to de-escalate before any of this happens. That's our goal, de-escalation. And then when we shoot, we're not shooting to kill, we're shooting to incapacitate. All right, the whole point behind self-defense is not killing. It is incapacitation, immediate incapacitation. What do you think about that, Sol?
I completely agree. The primary goal in self defense is to stop the threat and protect yourself and others rather than to cause harm unnecessarily. De escalation is definitely the best approach whenever possible, and using force only as a last resort is key. It's all about minimizing harm and ensuring safety while being mindful of the legal and ethical responsibilities involved. It's definitely all about balance and responsibility.
So de-escalation, we kind of glazed over this, and I probably should have talked about that first. But de-escalation, like here in Arizona, we have a law that whenever you're involved in this kind of a scenario, that you give 3 commands before you fire to de-escalate. And those 3 commands, you're going to want to say them very sternly and seriously. Okay? So it would be like, drop the weapon, drop the weapon, drop the weapon, something like that. That is an attempt to de-escalate. Okay? You want to do that. Now, you can't always do that, but you want to try your damnedest to do it. Say, hey, buddy, drop the weapon. I'm going to shoot if you move towards me, if you don't follow my command, whatever. You want to try to de-escalate. And when you're trying to de-escalate, don't come up to them like your mother goose and go, "Oh, honey, you need to stop." No, it's you be stern, straight to the point, and keep your commands short and easy to understand. Chat, what do you want to add to that?
Absolutely, that's a great point. The idea is definitely to communicate clearly and assertively so that the other party understands the seriousness of the situation. It's also important to maintain a safe distance and be prepared to escalate only if absolutely necessary. It's all about giving the individual a clear chance to comply and choosing the most responsible approach to protect everyone involved. It's definitely all about that balance of firm communication and safety.
And of course, as far as ammo selection goes, use factory loaded ammo only, no hand loads. Do not give your prosecutor a Christmas gift. And, most people out there use hollow points. And the reason you use them is because it decreases the amount of a chance of over-penetration. That is the whole sole reason behind using a hollow point. It isn't really so much the expansion and the extra damage. The reason you want to use it is because, well, you don't want to hit any innocent bystanders, which would also bring me to the point of be sure of your target and what's behind it.
Absolutely, that's such a crucial consideration. Using factory loaded ammunition and opting for hollow points definitely helps reduce the risk of over penetration, which is really important in protecting innocent bystanders. And of course, being absolutely certain of your target and what's beyond it is essential to ensuring that your actions are responsible and safe. And it's definitely all about making thoughtful, informed choices every step of the way.
And as far as your holsters go, there's a wide swath of holsters out there. But I'm just going to give you some examples of stuff that I use because I have a disability, and well, I can't wear a belt because of that disability. So something like, say, this crossbody bag right here is actually a very good choice. And the reason I like bags like this is because, well, you can also typically not only conceal pretty much any firearm, but you can see I have a full-size 4-inch 357 Magnum in here. So if I need it, it's in here, it's on me, and it also gives me a place that's central to my body, to where I can have my reloads and everything. And this allows you to wear things like basketball shorts and dress for, normal situations and kind of blend in a little better. Also, the fanny pack is something I'm a fan of. Now, I can't wear a belt, so I don't wear it as a fanny pack. I wear a crossbody, kind of like a chest rig. And I'm sure you guys have seen me wearing it like this. But I like this idea right here, because also when you're seated, you have very easy access to your firearm if needed. And if I need to get to this, all I've got to do is come up and jerk it open, and I can draw it, and it puts the firearm right in my hand. All right, there's none of this gotta kind of bend over to grab from here way back like this. There is none of that. It's right here. All right, and draw times, with a bag with practice, they're really no slower than they are with a traditional holster, whether it's appendix carried, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever you want to carry. Also, there's a lot of people out there that would look at this and say this is off-body carry. It is not off-body carry. It is no different than putting a belt around your waist and putting a holster on the belt. It is no different. Would you agree with that? That this really, the use of crossbody bags and, fanny packs, that's not off-body carry, is it, chat?
I totally agree with you. The way you describe it, carrying a firearm in a crossbody bag or a fanny pack, is really just a different method of on-body carry. It's all about keeping the firearm accessible and secure, and it can definitely be just as quick and practical as more traditional holster methods. Plus, it offers great versatility, especially for those who need a different carry method due to physical needs or lifestyle. It's definitely all about finding what works best for you and ensuring you can carry safely and effectively.
Alrighty, so I think we've covered everything. So to kind of recap everything, keep your head on a swivel, trust your spidey senses, always be observant, never be distracted, choose the right firearm, but more important than the firearm or the ammo or the holster is your situational awareness. So go out there and stay alive, okay? You are fighting to stay alive. Nobody wants a hero. Nobody likes a hero. You are fighting for your life. And ultimately, I hope nobody ever has to use any of this ever. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Is there anything you want to add at the end of the video here, chat?
That's a perfect summary. I'd just add that staying vigilant and prepared is really the key to staying safe and always making thoughtful, informed decisions. And of course, I hope everyone stays safe and never has to face these situations in real life. It's been great chatting about all of this, and I'm always here to help. Stay safe out there.
Alrighty, so folks, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,000 subs before the end of the year. And with that, God bless you. God bless America. Take a kid fishing, take a kid shooting, and I and ChatGPT will see you on the flip. Bye now.